Hello everybody, Nash here. Today I'll be doing something completely new, something not ever seen really before on my channel, and that is pretty much me more what I'm like when no one else is around. Something more of which I do in my free time, and more me, because I'm actually not a huge gamer. Gaming is not one of my pastimes, it's not something I do every day, it's not something I do every week, for that matter. It's actually quite rare for me, which is why I couldn't really really why I couldn't upload and keep regularly updating my Let's Play channel or playing channel, because really I don't play many games. I just don't. But here we have something that I do work on a lot, and my next project. Today I'll be showing you page 1, maybe 2 and 3 of my own personal book. That's right, I'm writing a book. Not many people know much about what this is going to be, because I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to run this. But I've created, about a week ago, I created this intro page, and I think it summarizes up what I want it to look like, at least from a very start off perspective of what I want this book to look like to the average reader. It conveys very interesting points. It's going to convey very interesting points, while above all trying to be hilarious, because, well, what's the point of learning a lot if you can't make a few people laugh along the way? You can find all this information online, you can find it all in school. So if I'm gonna not be like everyone else, of course I have to make people laugh along the way. So, as you can see on this page, if you've been reading it, that's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to I'm trying to tell us a story, make people learn, but get a few laughs along the way. And I think this first page summarizes that up exactly. I mean, crack a few jokes, make a few very serious points about how we have there are great things to learn about. In fact, even point out some things that not many people know about, like many name Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon. He had lots of names. People only know him as Christopher Columbus. And tell some very ironic stories along the way, like how Cologne, or Columbus, was actually pioneered what he thought was Asia at the time in the name of his Catholic higher power, in order to create a society which has actually now become a society of which one where we don't like to establish a higher power, even though it was discovered by a guy who thought he was on a mission from God himself. And he went off, and turns out that the land he discovered created a place as an escape of intolerance from not believing in the very God he thought sent him there. Which is kind of ironic in its own way. And that's kind of a deep thought. And this book will have lots of that, along with lots of vague political and pop culture references, like virtualization. Only, like, the 2 people out of the, let's say, even 200 people read this book. It may not even get that far. If I get farther than that, I would say good job. Like, the 2 people who understand that reference, good. But if you don't, that's also good. Plenty of jokes and political satire and humor about current, past, and and even what's not even going on right now from when I'm recording this. So this is page 1. Hopefully you've read it. If not, pause it, finish it if you want, if you're still here. I'm going down to page 2 and 3. That is not the right scroll. InDesign's hard. Chapter 1 will be the pre-colonial era, which of course has Christopher Columbus, Cortez, the Incas. This is the beautiful artistic side of oppression. Let me get over there. It's not centered. Natives, and generally pre-colonial era. Pre-colonial era, of course, would start and kind of be like around revolution times. Obviously, this is before then. So this is just kind of chapter 1, like a very basic intro. And honestly, I have 2 main big inspirations when it comes to writing this book. 2. And I'm going to try to model it without copying, because copying is not my style. I'm a style of my own and I prefer to have my work reflect that. The very first inspiration, has been a huge inspiration to me, is Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert has a lot of wit, or at least his writers do. He's got a lot of wit, and it's generally fun to learn about, read his works. Just fun. That's just kind of how my view of Stephen Colbert is. And inspiration, too, goes hand in hand with Stephen Colbert because it is Jon Stewart. I decided I would write this right after I completed this book. I'm kind of going for the same look. I'm kind of going for a super graphic-y, educational experience. And this book and Jon Stewart's first book heavily inspired and will inspire the creation of this book. So this is page 2. I mean, I have STD jokes in it. I mean, on page 3, because this is an InDesign, page 3, if you want to get into technicality. Yeah, STD jokes is just page 3 into it, because it's gotta make a few people laugh. Can't cater your humor to everyone, but STD jokes can get the way there. But I mean, it's also very informative too. We'll talk about the Aztecs. I mean, page 4 is the Olmecs, because that's when information actually started instead of just this kind of content startup. And I'll be doing this up until modern day, and hopefully I'll have support from this book. Hopefully it'll be read. I mean, hopefully my old newspaper class will see it. I learned a lot of my InDesign and Photoshop skills from them. Probably wouldn't have any idea where to start without them. So yeah, I'll be trying to update this more frequently. Of course, this is an indie book. I mean, I'm working on this completely alone. I design all the I'm going to design more, but I design all the pages. I Photoshop what I need to Photoshop. I create all the content on my own. It is heavily inspired by Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, but only the wit. I'm not going to steal jokes, because that's not what I do. It's going to be a fun ride. This will mainly help me for one of my AP classes, AP US. And honestly, if I can keep up to it, I'm trying to get, let's say, 5 pages done a week. And honestly, that in itself is hard to do, because each page can take 4 to 5 hours just in graphic design and page design, yet alone content. So this is page 2 and 3. If you like it, please tell me, because honestly, no one's really seen this. A very few, minimal amount of people have seen this. Thank you.